Hello everybody and welcome back to Starcraft 2. We got another replay here from the Craig Shoe Shine Fight Night. There will be links in the description to both the Discord and Craig's stream in case you want to check it out and watch. But if you want to participate, make sure to get in that Discord. And yeah, right now we have at the top right hand side either Patchert or Patchert, our blue Terran on Dynasty. I don't think I've ever seen Dynasty, but I like what it looks like. And down here, we have the one, the only, the red Zerg. It's Zesty. For those that don't know, Zesty recently gave me some coaching with Zerg, and the mindset he presents can be used with any race in the game, and I highly recommend watching that coaching, as it was really insightful, and it gives us a look into what OP Zesty might be thinking about doing as he goes into this game. So the thing is, Zesty really likes to build X amount of drones, then a bunch of units. Now, that's not the only thing Zesty can do, but it's something that he's been implementing into his own gameplay, and he's quite good at it because he's been practicing it a lot. So, while I wouldn't say it's a timing push exactly, considering timing is kind of like saying, you know, this is your weak moment, this is when I'm gonna attack because I know it's a weak moment. It's not a timing attack in that sense, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a really big push coming in from Zesty after he gets like 3 base saturation, maybe even 2 base saturation. We'll just have to see what he decides to do. Now, we do have a natural coming down from Patchert, but the reason I'm bringing this up isn't because naturals are weird, but because it's at the gold base location. Now, it only has 1 Vespian Geyser, and that is something to keep in mind. And it's actually kind of in a safe location to a degree. I mean, they can technically attack you on this left-hand side, which will get stuff destroyed over here. But that being said, we'll have to keep an eye on whether Patchert or Patchert can actually use these minerals to get some damage done or not. All right, Reaper is actually going to get the drone as it goes to, I assume, make the 3rd base by Zesty. It's going to get in here, and it's going to scout, but it's not really going to see much. It's going to see that there's 1 drone, and it's going to see that there's spawning pool. Honestly, it'd be kind of crazy if he didn't expect to see that. But that also means that he's not getting cheesed, right? So he knows that he is in a safe position. So the 3rd base does go down here for Zesty. Does send out that drone again. Now we've got 2 Reapers going to make their way up the ramp here. However, Queen's somewhat in position to deal with this. Going to throw that bomb. Not quite going to get anything done with it. Does bump the Queen, but honestly, not that big of a deal. Choosing to start spreading creep instead of injecting. Oh, wait, never mind. That is the 3rd Queen. That is actually 100% what that Queen is for until the 3rd base is finished. Gonna move in here to try to get some stuff done with the Reapers. He does pull a few drones to get this. He tries to get this around with the drones. Doesn't quite get it, but he does get one of the Reapers killed. The other one's exceptionally low health. Is gonna choose to get that out. So, Zesty does see that the gold base is taken. The Zerglings can see the STVs mining and probably the CC as well. We've got Marines on the way and a starport. Nothing coming out of the factory. Factory is going to build a reactor. Now this tells me it's probably going to be for dropships. Well, medevacs rather. Reaper continuing to do as much damage as it possibly can. An Evo chamber and Roaches coming up on the natural here. Now, we are still on 1 gas for Zesty, which means he's not going to go too hard into Roaches. Something I've learned doing this sort of strategy with Zerg, where you try to hit a certain drone count and then do units, suggested that's what he's doing, is you need 2 gases. If you're going to do a push with Roaches anytime in the early game, you have to have 2 gases. We do have the hatchery turning into a lair, which means we may see Roach speed here soon. Or we might see a tech in a different direction. Gonna take that 3rd gas for our Terran player, and as I thought, we did move the starport over, and it is going to start pumping out those medevacs. So it looks like Patchert wants to actually get in there and start doing drops. I don't know why else you would have this many Marines. Stim almost finished. Into double medevac. 4th base going down for Zesty. Okay, we finally moved up, so now we've got 3 gases, which means now if we wanted to start producing a ton of fucking roaches, we could do it, and we could get it done very successfully. So we'll have to see if he gets anything done with that increased gas amount, because we haven't put down a spire or anything yet. 2 medevacs are making their way across the map. We'll have to check on those in a second, see what these lings are looking for. I think the lings are looking for the actual natural instead of the gold base. And here we go. The medevacs are going to go ahead and drop in here on the opposite side of the gold minerals, not actually looking to do too much damage, instead trying to get the overlord so that way they can get any damage done at all. Queens and roaches moving into position in case these marines do decide they want to push up. We are going to finally push out and take the actual natural, and here's a huge stem push coming into the 3rd base of Zesty. Now, at the very least, is going to get some overlords and push the drones away. He is going to run from the roaches, though. So a good amount of damage there from Patchert, but again, this is the kind of thing you have to expect whenever you're playing Zerg. So it's not like that did a ton of damage and now we see Patchert in the lead or anything like that, but it was still necessary. Roaches are going to move up here, but only a couple of them, as there was a bit of a slow reaction from Zesty. Going to move those roaches, get them split as best he can, and then start chasing down those marines. Does get 1. And now it's going to come down to whether Zesty can catch these medevacs or not for a hot minute here, because this map is going to keep him spread. So we're going to have to see if he decides to go in for things like spines, spores. I don't know if he will. I know a lot of Zergs now opt for additional queens and just good reaction time, just to have the edge and of not spending their drones in those situations. Does drop a creep tumor right as the marines move up the hill, though. That means that is going to go down. And I don't know if he can react in time. He is going to try to focus down this hatchery. The roaches are slowly starting to move in. He does bail on the attempt to get the hatchery and does get out. 22 roaches, or 22 lings, sorry, and a bunch of roaches are finishing up as we speak. And I wouldn't be surprised if we now see an attack come in from Patchert, or I'm sorry, from Zesty. Zesty making his way across the map, but at the same time, Patchert making his way across the map, but on the southern side. So we are going to seeing 2 armies across each other, sail across each other like 2 ships in the night, completely unknowing. Now, will this turn into a base trade, or what will we see here? I'm not entirely sure. We do have 2 siege tanks sieged, and marines are going to come in here to try to punish the 3rd base. Does back up the marines, though. However, we have a drop going into the main as well. Meanwhile, over here on Patchert's side of the map, the roaches are doing a ton of damage. There is nothing here for Patchert to defend, so these roaches are going to have pretty much free reign. Realizing this, though, he does move his army in to start punishing Zesty for also not having an army here. That being said, tons of lings and roaches at least do exist here for Zesty, which is going to make it a bit harder for Patchert, where, as I said, there's nothing here for our Terran player. This Terran player has to make this work. If he can't make this work, it is all over for him. He does kind of back up into the siege tanks here, unfortunately losing most of his marines as he attempts to do it. I'll be honest with you guys, this is not looking good. This is our Terran army. That's the extent of it. This is our Zerg army, and the fact that we're still mining means that our Terran player is in a lot of trouble. Like, we're literally killing the units as they exit the buildings here for our Terran player. And I do think that Patchert might realize the situation he's in. The Marines do come home to try to help clean this up. 2 siege tanks here are going to siege up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Doing significantly better with these Marines and siege tanks than I thought he would have. But the damage is done, guys. You have a Zerg on 3, like, working bases. They're operating as intended. We could even see an expansion, but we're just seeing more roaches even. Versus a Terran who is not mining or producing. I mean, we're producing 5 Marines out of 1 barracks. Trying to get a tech lab down. I assume to try to get a Banshee out to deal with this. That's my guess. Terran gonna go ahead and start doing everything they can to get back into this. Dropping mules onto the gold mine. But that's a lot of roaches, guys. That's a lot of roaches, and when these rocks go down, I have a feeling that Terran's going to be in a hell of a position. He does notice that the rocks are being destroyed. Does get into siege range. Taking a couple siege hits here. Another group of roaches destroying anything left that was in the main base. I have to admit, Patchert doing a pretty good job right now staying in the game. I don't know that he comes back, but he's doing a good job staying. I'll give him that. We have decided to go ahead and expand again. Zesty wants to make sure he gets this game win. And here we go. We're going to engage the Terran army, and those 2 siege tanks are vital, and they do go down. And that'll pretty much solidify that Patchert is out of this game. I mean, we have some Marines over here killing the drones in the the new third base location for Zesty, but I don't think it really matters. Yep, there's the GG. Good job to Zesty, and good job to Patchert. You both did a fantastic job. If you guys enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next replay.